Hi, this is Andrea Kane, and I'm here with you for HSC 114 Medical Terminology, where we are studying the Language of Medicine, 12th edition by Davy Ellen Shabner. This is for Chapter 1, Week 1 lecture video. So let's dive in and get started. Our chapter goals are to identify basic objectives to guide your study of the medical language, divide medical words into their component parts, learn the meanings of basic combining forms, prefixes, and suffixes of the medical language, and use these combining forms, suffixes, and prefixes to build medical words. Why study the medical language? Well, we want to learn how to analyze words by dividing them into their component parts. We want to be able to relate the medical terms to the structure and function of the human body and be aware of spelling and pronunciation problems that can actually cause medical errors if we're not careful. They start us off with a quick quiz, and if you pull out your textbook and take a look and you start reading through it, you'll notice that the medical terms we're going to talk about have a root, often a combining vowel, not always, but often, and a suffix. Sometimes they even have a prefix. Sometimes they have two roots. So there are some of those things. I'm going to leave it to you to read through your textbook and find the answer to this one. I know the answer, but I'm not going to give it away. All right, quick quiz number 2. Which element appears at the beginning of a medical term? Beginning. Even if you don't know this answer, look down at these 4 options. Is there part of any of these that means beginning or before? Think about that, and that should give you the answer. All right, let's start off here with a medical term that we're going to go ahead and break down. This one's hematology. If you notice, they have already broken it down for us. Hematology or logy. Hematology is how it's pronounced. Hemat is the root. O is the combining vowel, and logy or logy is the suffix. Most combining vowels are O. Make sure you notice that. Most combining vowels are O. Every now and again, you'll run into one where they use an I, and those you'll want to make special note of when you're memorizing these. But most combining vowels are O's. Now, the way that we do this is we break it down into its pieces and parts, and then we translate it back to front. I know this sounds odd, but back to front. So logy is the study of, and hemat is blood. So this term means the study of blood. And it shows us here the different elements when we are talking about analyzing medical terms. The root is the foundation of the word. The suffix is the word ending, and in case you were wondering, most all have a suffix. Prefix is the small part attached to the beginning of a term. A combining vowel is usually O, and it links the root to the suffix or the root to another root. So if you are a person who likes equations or thinks that way, think of it this way. A root plus a combining vowel will equal a combining form. Let's do another one together. Electrocardiogram. Electrocardiogram. They have nicely broken this down for us. Electrocardiogram. So if we look at it, gram is going to mean record. Cardi is heart, and elector is electricity. So this is a record of the heart's electricity. You see how that works out? Let's do another one. Maybe. Gastritis. Gastritis. Oops, went a little bit too far. Okay, so gastritis. We break it down, you see gaster and itis. And notice here, we don't have a combining vowel. The reason we don't is the suffix begins with a vowel. So if your suffix begins with a vowel, you will not have a combining vowel. You'll just have the root plus the suffix. So in this one, it's gaster and itis. Itis means inflammation or swelling, and gaster is stomach. So this is inflammation of the stomach. Gastroenterology. Well, we had logy. We know it's study of. Enter is intestines and gastro is stomach. So this one is going to be the study of the stomach and intestines. So a physician of gastroenterology studies the stomach and intestines. All right, so 3 general rules when you're breaking down medical terms. You read the meaning of the medical terms from the suffix back to the beginning of the term and across. You drop the combining vowel, which is usually an O, whenever you have a suffix that begins with a vowel, and you keep the combining vowel between 2 roots. All right, let's do another one. Hypogastric. Hypogastric. So you can see how they've divided it here. We know gaster is stomach. Hypo means below, and ick means pertaining to. So this is pertaining to below the stomach. Epigastric. Epigastric. Okay, so we know ick is pertaining to, we know gaster is stomach, and epi is on top of or above. So this one means pertaining to above the stomach. All right, so let's get into our combining forms and their meanings. This is the vocabulary that you'll have this week that you need to know. So, adeno, arthro, bio, carcino, cardio. Which term means inflammation of the gland? Well, we talked about inflammation. Remember gastritis? So that should help you with your suffix because it's itis. But gland, did you notice that one when we go back? So that should help you answer that quick quiz question. Some more combining forms: cephalo, cerebro, cisso, crino, and cysto. And notice that cephalo and cerebro, they do mean head, but cerebro is really the cerebrum area of the head. Cyto, dermo, dermato. Look here, we have 2 versions of dermo, dermato for skin. So watch out for that because you'll see as we go through here, some of these combining forms, they have the same meaning, but there's multiple ones. Electro, encephalo, entero. Which term means study of cells? Well, we know study of is logi or logi. Now we need to think about cells, and that should help you with this. All right, erythro, gastro, glyco, noso. Notice that, noso, G-N-O-S-O. When you have a G-N like that at the beginning, you don't pronounce the G. You drop it in terms of sound, so it's noso. Gyneco, hemato, or hemo. See, we have 2 for blood, hemato or hemo. Hepato, iatro, leuco, logo, nephro, neuro. Onco, ophthalmo. Ophthalmo is one of those challenging ones to study and to say and to spell. So make sure that you catch that O-P-H, T-H, and you remember the L before the M. So really study that one and that'll help you out. Osteo, patho, pedo. Psycho, radio, reno, rhino, sarco. Secto, thrombo, euro. Now some suffixes. Ac and al both mean pertaining to, so watch out for that because you'll see that when it comes to pertaining to, you may have as many as 10 or 12 different suffixes excuse me, that mean that. Algia, site, ectomy. And it's going to ask you which suffix means to cut out or remove. Cut out or remove. Emia, genic, globin, gram, ick and ickle. See, here's 2 more, ick and ickle pertaining to. Ion, ist, itis, logi, oma. Opsi, osis, pathy, scope, scopy. Like in laparoscopy, endoscopy. Cystomy, and Y. So you've got those. Excuse me. Let's now talk about a prefix. or prefixes that you're going to see. And again, you're going to see a couple here that are only one letter difference. And thankfully, they have the same meaning, but you'll want to watch out for that. So a and an mean no, not, without. Ought and auto, dia, end and endo, epi, ex and exo, hyper and hypo. I'm going to pause here because these two are some of the most critical that you will run across. Hyper is too much of something. Hypo is not enough of something. If you slur your words or if you say them too quickly, you may communicate something that is very wrong. Think of a patient with hyperglycemia. Means that their blood sugar is running too high. They need insulin to bring it down. If you have someone with hypoglycemia, their blood sugar has bottomed out and dropped. They need something with sugar in it to bring them back up to a normal level. So you can see where if you're communicating and you have a hyperglycemic patient and someone misunderstands your handwriting or your verbal communication and they think you say hypo, they may give that hyper patient even more of a substance that shoots their blood sugar up even worse into diabetic ketoacidosis, which can be deadly. So that's why they talk about how important it is how you pronounce medical terms and that you're clear in your spelling and your communication. So moving on, in, peri, pro, re, retro, sub, and trans. And I'm going to stop here with re and retro. They mean slightly different things, so watch out for that. They're not interchangeable. Let's see here. My computer's not wanting to move for a second. Try. And that is it for this chapter, Chapter 1. I will be back shortly to talk to you about Chapter 2, and that will conclude week 1's 2 chapters. So thank you for watching.